half the field is set to go in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll find the other half tomorrow, but we'll tell you what we know right now and have some fun talking hockey on Teal Town After Dark. Good evening, everyone. It is August 8th, 2020. We now know 4 of the 8 playoff matchups in the Stanley Cup playoffs. We'll be talking about that tonight here on the show. But, of course, this is a live interactive post-game. So let's talk about it. And you can do that with us, along with fellow hockey fans in our YouTube chat on the page or the app. You can follow us on the social, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, SoundCloud, Reddit, even our Discord at Teal Town USA. And for more Sharks content, visit tealtownusa.com. And with that, hello everyone. I am Eric Kura. I am pleased to be joined. It's been a while since we've seen Felix on this side of the YouTube show. So, Felix, what's happening, bud? How you been?
It has been a while. I've been really good actually. It's been fun hockey, and it's been really fun to watch. How the teams are doing, and just hey, glad to see hockey back, and just the qualifiers, just being like as exciting as it has been, and so yeah, absolutely, been great.
Yeah, it's been really fun to have it back. I will say this. I think I saw it on Twitter somewhere where you'd be like, okay, we gotten used to the six games in a day thing, and then you just go down to 2. What the heck? It,
Yeah.
it's like the hockey overload for 1 week, and it's like just a big old burst, and then it's like, okay, now we're gonna slow it down. We're just gonna take it easy. It's so it's been a fun week, and things will now get a little bit smoother going forward. So let's talk about what happened today. We'll begin out west with the Vegas Golden Knights picking up the number 1 seed, and Colorado, despite a great effort. I think they kept tying up Vegas early on, including the last minute goal by JT Compher with about a minute to go in regulation. Alex Tuck gets the game winning goal in this one to give the Knights the number 1 seed. What did you think of today's game, including former Sharks playoff legend Jonas Donskoy picking up the goal there?
Oh yeah, that was it was a pretty fun game to watch, and that was a great goal. I thought like, you know, both teams honestly they played a heck of a game, and unfortunately, I'm sure you'll talk about the final result later on. The Colorado didn't win that game, but it was a fun one. It was definitely a fun one to watch, and it was a fun goal to watch too.
And you don't you get the feeling that this is the preview of the Western Conference Final? I think these teams played so well. Colorado's been on a good run, unless their goaltending falls apart. I think they're stacked to take on Vegas. Vegas, of course, let's be real here. We're Sharks fans, so of course
Right.
we want them to go out as early as possible. And
Hmm.
and I thought a little bit there might have been some gamesmanship here because who would you rather have, Arizona or Chicago? And no disrespect to our good friend Hockey Jerk, but I would have, I'm wondering if Colorado didn't want Chicago in round 1.
Yeah. I think Colorado. They're a great team. I think Chicago's been interesting. I think they're a really talented team. Of course, um, you know, it's, with can and give me 1 second while I shut the door. I'm sorry,
Uh-oh.
I completely forgot.
That's fine. We'll let him do that as he's got such an aura going on in the background with his music. I don't know. I will say this while he's getting put back together. That is a very very sweet opening night. Sharks. Is it a poster or a program? Because that looks sharp, man. Behind you. And now I can't hear you.
Sorry, I completely forgot to unmute myself
There
now.
you go.
Totally professional, guys. Totally professional show, I
Hey,
swear.
it happens. But no, your opening night poster, that's pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so my actually a friend of mine who I've known since high school, actually her dad found that poster in their house. And it's funny because because she knows that I'm a obviously a diehard Sharks fan and a huge hockey fan.
Yep.
So so she was like, "Well, do you know what this poster is?" I was like, "Well, yeah, of course I do." And so, yeah, and she was like, "Do you want this poster?" I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
heck yeah." And so yeah, she was like, "Okay, well, come to my house and we'll and pick it up." And so yeah,
Nice.
that's how I got it.
Nice.
I honestly I got super lucky because I didn't think she actually had anything remotely hockey, heck, even sports related. So that was a nice surprise for sure.
Absolutely, that's very sweet. Although the chat's giving you the same crap that I usually get. Skylar saying, "For once, Puck Guy doesn't have the internet issues."
Oh,
It wasn't
do I
even.
have?
It wasn't even the internet issues. You just had some nice ambient music going on in the background.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're good. You're
I
good.
apologize. But yeah, but yeah, back to the games. I feel like again, this has been a really interesting qualifying rounds. Like and Colorado, um, you know, again, I feel like they're a talented team, like Chicago is, and I feel like you know if they do meet Chicago, I think um, honestly think that Chicago might have Colorado has a chance because honestly I feel like they have a really good roster and
Right.
their goaltending has been great, and so I don't see why they wouldn't at least go deep to like the conference finals. So yeah,
Yeah. I.
but
I.
it'll be interesting.
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say that I'm right with you. They seem like they can have a shot at it. And no disrespect to the other six teams that are making it, but I mean, I think those are two of the best teams in the West.
Yeah,
St. Louis again. Could it be just the that they were skating in mud? They played a good effort, in these qualifiers. They have one more to go to decide who's the third and fourth seed in the West, but
hmm
they struggled to get their feet going, and their scoring going for that matter. I think they fell apart in the
yeah.
third period against Vegas earlier in the week, but you can't discount them out.
Oh yeah, I mean they're the defending Stanley Cup champions for a reason, and of course we know a big part of why they went to the Stanley Cup final, against the Boston Bruins, and look, they have great goaltending, they have obviously the offense to back it up, and yeah, their defense can be a little spotty at times, especially in that particular game, but I feel like should they pick it up again, I feel like they're, like you said, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, definitely. And Dallas and such going forward. So why don't we give you the West right now as how it's going to look? Again, this is all up in the air, depending on the result of Dallas and St. Louis. That's at noon tomorrow on NBC. Vegas, number one seed against the number 12 Chicago Blackhawks. You also have Colorado in the number 2 spot, taking on the Arizona Coyotes, otherwise known as Desert Dogs. Do you have your dream?
Yes.
Thank you. Again, Dallas and St. Louis will play tomorrow at noon on NBC. The winner of the game will get the number 3 seed. The loser will get number 4. The winner of that game essentially gets Calgary in round 1, and the loser will get Vancouver in round 1 themselves. So, you know, it's not that bad. I think all those are pretty solid matchups, and to me, I think with Chicago's uh, you know, veteran presence, I think it really showed in the qualifying round. This isn't going to be an easy matchup for Vegas, I don't think.
Oh no, absolutely not. Like, I mean, and look, like I mean, heck, even Ian, like, I believe Ian also had, um, I think he had like Edmonton over Chicago. I can't remember, but um, and of course
Oh,
I might
we
be
might
wrong
have
on
had
that, but
we might have had a few incorrect picks in that one. Just
right, of
putting
course.
that out there.
Right. But yeah, no, like I think Chicago, like in that series, heck, even I thought that Edmonton, with the way Chicago played during the regular season, was gonna have that series in the bag.
Yeah.
But clearly not the case, as Chicago gave them a run for their money in that first period, as we remember early on, and of course that ended up being a pretty back and forth affair. But still, I think Chicago's shown that they've still got it. I mean, like they still had their stars. Obviously, Tays has had a pretty good qualifying round. Kane, you know. And yeah, and they had their young stars, and I feel like, with Vegas, they're obviously Vegas. We know about their story, but I really feel like Chicago is going to be a good test for Vegas. You know, soon to come. So
Yeah, definitely. I think Chicago's going to be a good one. I definitely want to say that that I think it's a good matchup for Colorado and Arizona. And whoever gets Calgary is in for a hitting fest. They better keep their head up.
oof, yeah.
Vancouver, Vancouver, I think grew a lot in
Oh yeah.
in this play-in series, and you get you always overhear that playoff experience.
Hmm. Hmm.
They
Hmm.
took advantage of it in the
Yeah.
4-game victory. Uh,
Hmm.
so definitely like
But
that.
also, but also, I want to say that, and going back to something Ian said a little while back, that Minnesota is the most their team in the league. And you can't really discount that fact either. I mean, like, while Vancouver may have gotten better, Minnesota just, I mean, they showed some fight here and there, but it's like, you know, Vancouver, I just feel like is was the better team in that series. So
Right.
it'll be interesting to see how they fare, when they play some actual teams. Not no disrespect to the state of hockey, but like,
Right.
come talk to me when you guys play, or at least I said a better team.
Yeah. No, and they're definitely going to need to work on it. And Guerin's put that team fairly decent together, but yeah, no. Um, uh, so let's go into the chat and see what they're saying.
Yeah.
The only problem with hockey is that hockey is unpredictable and anything could happen, as shown with round 0. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, for sure. Did you see Lanner's tweet? Yeah, let me put it up right now. It's not going to fit too well in our widescreen format since I just got it on here. Let's see. Can I pull it up? It was a screenshot. Definitely. Let's see here. There we go. Robin
Oh
Lanner
yeah.
tweeting this out right after the game. Awkward alert.
Oh
Go
goodness.
figure, because I mean, you You weren't supposed to be. You got traded from Chicago to Toronto
Yeah,
to Vegas. And by the way,
yeah,
Leafs, way to help Vegas out a little bit more, you idiots. Um, and now you weren't expecting to, the Hawks weren't expecting to go into the playoffs, and sure enough, now round one, it's Laner/Fleury against Chicago. So again, like Skylar said, 2020 hockey in August, and Darkwing Duck trended last night. Oh, and Toronto came back from 3-0.
yeah. And we have I don't believe we've even touched on that at all yet. And by the way, I do want to go back to Skylar's comment about the only problem with hockey is that hockey is unpredictable and anything could happen, as has been shown with round zero. I'd even go back to, and I believe I also commented this before in chat. Like I'd even go back to the first round a few years back. Like I said, this honestly has that kind of feel where there were a whole bunch of upsets. I remember Carolina upsetting the Capitals in seven
Yep.
games. I remember the Columbus Blue Jackets sweeping Tampa Bay, and of course I believe that was also, they may have been referenced on the national broadcast too
Yep.
when Tampa and Philly played earlier. And so I feel like, yeah, it's just been, look, man, hockey is, and this is also why first I fell in love with hockey and have been a fan for all this time. It's because of just such intense competitions, because of the unpredictability, and we love it, and as you'd always say, we love it, we want it, we need some more of it,
Yes,
something to that effect.
something of that.
Yes.
That works. That works for sure. I mean, and we talk about Toronto coming back from 3-0 down. We saw it.
Yeah.
Saw the night before Columbus came back from 3-0 down. We saw the Sharks coming back from 3-0 down last year against Vegas. Anything can happen, and that's the great thing about this sport. Now,
So absolutely.
so getting to the East, we saw Philly, you know, take care of Tampa Bay 3-1 tonight. And Carter Hart looks like he is the franchise goalie the Phillies been waiting for, and Alain Vigneault has done his magic again for a fourth team. Uh, I mean, taking out took out all three opponents. What do
Yeah.
you think of the Flyers? Kind of coming out of nowhere. I mean, they looked like they were going to be an improved squad entering the season, but not. I didn't expect them to be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they're an interesting team. I think, like you said, AV's done a heck of a job with that team, and they have a pretty good goalie in Carter Hart, and I feel like obviously they've established him as the goalie of now and the future, and so I feel like they're proving to be an interesting team to watch for this postseason. But also I look at that as like Tampa Bay kind of I don't want to say blowing a tire, but they kind of they've kind of had a few whiffs, their fair share of whiffs tonight, and obviously Hedman, with that injury, I believe he that looked like I want to say an ankle injury. I'm not entirely sure. I want to say that's an ankle injury, but he obviously wasn't too happy, coming off the ice and heading into the locker room a bit later. But yeah, Tampa's going to be in an interesting situation, and I think the Flyers kind of exposed them a little bit tonight.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think people are being like, oh, Tampa's gonna just fall apart, blah blah blah. You just never know.
Oh yeah.
Somewhere they're going to get Stamkos back, hopefully sooner than later. And Paradise, thank you. Appreciate it. The correction, forgot they added an empty netter there. 4-1 there. Good luck to your Vegas squad in the postseason. But yeah, I mean, Tampa looking, Still a really good squad, and we'll throw up the
Yeah.
east. We'll throw up the Eastern bracket now on this one. Philly will get the top seed, and they will go up against Montreal, who they were in pretty dominated that one pretty much. Uh, Tampa Bay is the number 2 seed. They will take on the winner of tomorrow's Columbus Toronto matchup. Uh, and let's be honest, Sharks fans are hoping that whoever plays Tampa uh, takes care of Tampa and takes care of them well. Fingers crossed.
Columbus.
Columbus or Toronto, you know? Again, Washington and Boston will play tomorrow at 9 a.m. on NBCSN. The Columbus Toronto game will be at 5 p.m. on NBCSN. The winner of the Washington Boston matchup will get the 3 seed and take on the Islanders in round one. The loser will get the number 4 seed and take on Carolina in the first round. So Carolina is in for a rematch no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, interesting look around. You know, it's like, what in the world's going on? And you know, Skyler saying we are rooting for a Tampa Bay sweep for a mid first round. I think he means getting that Tampa Bay gets swept for a mid first round draft pick. And considering
Yeah.
everything that's happened with the Sharks' first round draft pick, if that happens, Doug Wilson's gonna be looking like a little bit more of a genius if he could get a draft pick, you know, somewhere between 17 and 22. I mean, that's just, you know, amazing.
Hockey's a funny sport, eh?
Oh yeah, you know it. Also, Victor Hedman getting hurt is huge. That's a big one for Tampa.
Oh yeah.
That should be interesting to see. Granted, you know, they'll have some time off. I wouldn't be surprised if they start Wednesday. Will Hedman be, you know, better in time? We'll see. Like a Tiger, Bruins in real danger. Again, and I'll ask this to you, Felix.
Sure.
Are they were they treating it more like preseason games, or is there some danger there? Because Bruins were okay, but it wasn't. You know, it's not like I forget how I put it. I think I said it to somebody. It's like whose line is it anyway? You know, the games are real, but the points don't matter.
Yeah, I personally think that they didn't really take it seriously enough. I mean, I don't I am having a hard time thinking that the Bruins are that I guess that are in danger. As you guys put it, I just think that the Bruins are still a really good team. They're too good of a team to play like that. And so Bruins fans better hope that that was just a one or a few times occurrence, because if they keep playing like that, it won't bode well for Boston. So, but yeah, I have a hard time believing that that's going to be something of a common occurrence throughout the playoffs.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Bruins will be ready to go. So will
Yeah,
Washington. I mean, the top 4 seeds again are pretty stacked. Philly's the
yeah,
surprise out of the 4.
hmm
I mean, but in the top 3. But if Columbus does beat Toronto
hmm
tomorrow night, man, if it's Columbus Tampa Bay, you don't think they're shaking a little bit? At the
Oh
same
yeah,
at the same time, though, remember how the Sharks were in 2016 when they knew they were going to play LA in the playoffs. It's the first
hmm
series after the infamous series that we don't want to talk about in
yeah,
2014. I
yeah.
mean, there could be some. To me, it's either Tampa's going to be pissed and be getting revenge, or Columbus knows they got Tampa's number and can move on.
Like I said, right, I feel like Columbus has Tampa's number. I just like Tampa, don't get me wrong, Tampa has still has a great offensive team, and when they're on defensively, they can play some really good defense. And Vazzy, when obviously when he's on his game, he's on his game. But when they're off their game, and of course we don't like if if Hedman isn't back by the start of the playoffs, that's going to be huge for the Lightning. So, if I just feel like Columbus has the better of the deal right in that first round, and so I'd be a little worried if I were Lightning fans right now.
And as for if it's Toronto, I mean Toronto winning a playoff series for the first time in 16 years. One, finally, that'd be the case for
They
a.
can put that banner up now.
Oh, you went there. Dang, they're not Nashville, Felix. Jeez, damn,
Steve Steve
Felix with
Dingle,
the.
if you're watching, Steve Dingle, if you're watching, you can still come on to the podcast.
Okay,
It's fine.
it,
I wasn't trying to
it,
purposely take a shot at them, but that was also kind of accidentally on purpose.
yeah, well, I'm trying to get Dangle on the show. I've been trying to reach out and hoping and thinking. And speaking of which, I think I could throw something up in here. Let's see if it'll work. Something I put together last night because, let's be real here. This was Steve Dangle. With the scores on there. Down 3-0. He was on the verge of being pissed. They're going home, disappointed, and then of course in overtime, after San Ramon native Austin Matthews scored, boom. So
Oh
Dangle, if
man.
you're watching, at PuckGuy14, let's set a time. Let's talk hockey. If you need to promote the book, I'm totally fine with that. Great book if you haven't done it already. Often, okay. That being said, let's our
All
shameless
right.
begging and pleading out of the way. But the East looks. I mean, it's really kind of a toss up again. I mean, can Carolina take on Washington or Boston? Yeah. I the Islanders. I mean, yeah, they kind of cakewalk through the Panthers, but Brovsky was horrible. You
Yeah.
can't tell me you're not.
Worst contract ever. Like, and of course, the Panthers, the Panthers bowing out of being eliminated from the postseason, from the qualifiers, ultimately cost Dale Talon his job reportedly, and yeah, and Bobrovsky, I wouldn't be surprised if that was one of, or if not the very move that sealed his fate.
Yeah, it wouldn't be surprised if he is let go.
Yeah.
There are reports, but I mean, you're gonna go Islanders and the Canes. They took on Bobrovsky and Lundqvist slash Shesterkin. You're going to go up against. I mean, no disrespect to Shesterkin and Lundqvist, but you're going up against Holtby and Tuukka Rask in round
Oh
one,
yeah.
respectively. It's going to happen. I mean, you're going up against a higher opponent. So, while there's always a chance for an upset, they're in for a real fight in round one.
Oh yeah. There's no question about that. Like, I mean, and we know Holtby's we know what Holtby's capable of. Obviously, winning a cup with the former Stanley Cup champion, Washington Capitals, of course. But yeah, they're gonna be in for a pretty good test.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I do want to say though is Carolina. Honestly, even if they don't go deep this year, which they probably won't because there are still some better teams in the playoffs. But even if they don't go deep this year, watch out if the Canes make some. moves to improve their roster because I feel like they're a young team, but I feel like they're getting more confidence, they're getting more experience, and in time that could be a potential team to watch. Sometime down the line.
Absolutely. Skylar in the chat going, Bob made no sense when he's draft Spencer Knight in last year's draft. Young goalie in the system who has the potential to be one of the best goalies in the NHL. Just get a placeholder. Then yeah, they could have gotten Martin Jones or something. But
Yeah,
$10 million deal, and they're stuck with him for 6 more years. So for
not
anybody,
great.
so for anyone that has an issue with Martin Jones's contract, Florida says we'll double down and hold your beer.
Exactly.
So, all right, with that, I think we're pretty much done here. Well, again, the schedule for tomorrow at 9 a.m. on NBC SN. It's the Capitals and Bruins. That's at 9 a.m. on NBCSN. And then at 5 p.m., it's Game 5 of Columbus and Toronto, which should be a good one. That's also on NBCSN. Over in the West, the third seed game is, I guess, what we'll call it. Dallas versus St. Louis. That is at noon on your local NBC station. So be on the lookout for that. The winner of Dallas St. Louis will get Calgary. The loser will get Vancouver. In the East, the winner of Washington Boston will get the Islanders. The loser will get the Kings. And for Columbus and Toronto, they will take on the Tampa Bay Lightning in round one. So that is your situation of that. Felix, I appreciate you, bud. Appreciate you always, including your writing on tealtownusa.com. So I appreciate everything you
Absolutely.
do. Your final
hmm
thoughts and where the people can find you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always a pleasure to be on, Eric. Obviously, my final thoughts. These have been a heck of a qualifying round. I feel like it's just, you know, for the most part, I feel like the Stanley Cup this year is up for grabs. I think we've already established that a long time ago, even before COVID started, and it's going to be a fun one. And like always, it's going to be a fun playoffs to watch, and yeah, we'll see how things go. We'll see who goes deep and who doesn't, and um, please, St. Louis, do not be a repeat champion. One, obviously, the y'all already won, and two, well, I don't know if we'll ever be able to forgive you guys for the playoffs last season.
Ah,
But
jeez.
um, but yeah, no, for like the playoffs, look, playoff hockey is always the best, right? I mean, best postseason in sports. There's no denying it, and yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. But yeah, you can find me at Hockey and Ghosts on the Twitter machine and on the Instagram. And although I haven't really posted much on my Instagram. And also, you can find me on the Spotify coming soon. I actually do have a single. Yester Guy is a musician too and an artist. Um, I have a single up called Love in the City if y'all haven't checked it out on Spotify. And I'm gonna have basically cover albums out on Spotify. So hockey, music, and yeah, that's all the good life, my friends.
Absolutely. One final comment in the chat from Skylar. We're going to be mad no matter who wins the cup, Felix, except maybe Carolina. You might be right there.
Ooh,
We'll see.
yeah, yeah.
I'm Eric Hura. You can find me at PuckGuy14 on the Twitter and the Instagram. Appreciate each and every one of you. In case you missed anything, you want to check us out on our podcatcher apps. You can find us always there and always at tealtownusa.com. Programming note. Pucknologists will come on at probably around 8 o'clock tomorrow night, probably following Tampa Bay, or excuse me, Toronto and Columbus. So I guess I get the night off. That's weird. I'm sure Jerk will be itching it a bit to talk about his Yotes there.
Hashtag his Yotes.
Hashtag my Yotes. You know, really bummed we couldn't get him last night, but I saw that he was having a good time today. So there's that, and AJ will be on there as well, and probably Rocket as well. So be on the lookout
In
for
the
Pucknologists.
sorry,
Go ahead.
in the words of AJ, hey now.
Hey now, indeed. Hell yeah, as they would say in Arizona. So you can enjoy the Pucknologists tomorrow. On that, following that, we'll be back with you also Monday afternoon, as we'll find out who gets that coveted number one spot in the draft. Please do not let it be Edmonton. I'll live with Toronto or Pittsburgh for crying out loud, but do not let him be in the Pacific Division.
Oh,
My
gosh,
friend here, seriously.
yeah.
So with that, we'll get out of here. We appreciate each and every one of you. Hit that subscribe button down below. Follow us on our social media. We will see you for the Pucknologist tomorrow night, for our draft lottery show on Monday afternoon, and throughout the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. Check out our content and subscribe down below. And thanks for watching. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow night.